Merry meet and welcome. Welcome to the realms of mysticism, the occult, and magic, where your possibilities are only limited by your imagination. Welcome to the Witch's Cauldron and discover the knowledge you seek. Gather round the cauldron and even stay for a spell. Brightest blessings to you. Merry meet and welcome to the Witch's Cauldron. My name's Paula. Today's video is going to be on the upcoming lunar eclipse of the supermoon in Sagittarius that's going to be occurring on May the 26th, 2021. Now, remember, eclipses are about fast-paced periods of change and fast-paced energies. There is also a solar eclipse coming on June the 10th. So the period between the lunar eclipse on May 26th and the solar eclipse on June the 10th, 2021 can be particularly fast, life-altering, erratic changes. To figure out the other influences that are in play, especially if you are a magical practitioner and you are wanting to get the biggest bang for your buck on this lunar eclipse energy, let's take a little snapshot of what's going on astrologically speaking. Jupiter moved into Pisces on May the 13th, and it's going to be there until July 29th. But it's only going to be there for a very short period of time. It's only going to go to 2 degrees of Pisces, and then it's going to backtrack. And it will give us just a little taste between May the 13th and July the 29th of what is to come when Jupiter fully moves into Pisces on December the 29th, 2021, and where it will stay until May the 10th of 2022. Now, Jupiter is the ancient ruler of Pisces, okay? So look where 2 degrees of Pisces is on your birth chart. And that area is going to be, whatever house it is, that house is going to be of particular interest to you because that is the house or that part of your life that can experience the most change or transformation or expansion while Jupiter is in Pisces. Now, Jupiter in Pisces can bring about confusion or being very emotionally overwhelmed. It can also bring about flooding. Because Pisces is the mutable water sign, okay? So that is changing raw water power, okay? It's also a time of mysticism, and you can expect an increase in your intuition, that inner voice yelling at you even more, an increase to your psychic abilities, an increase to people who are mediums receiving message from spirit. It can also be an increased time of paranormal activity because of the influence of water. Water and paranormal activity sometimes go hand in hand, okay? It can also be a time of recognition, reward, or an opportunity for growth in that house where 2 degrees of Pisces falls in your chart. There are several free websites that you plug in your date, time, and place of birth, and it will map your birth chart for you. I think Astro Cafe is one of them. Let's move on to Saturn. Saturn will be in Aquarius, 13 degrees of Aquarius for the entire month of May. On May 23rd, it's going to go into what is called stationary retrograde or retrograde storm. So what it is, it goes stationary and then it's preparing for the retrograde transit, okay? When it's stationary, that planet's influence is actually magnified, okay? So Saturn is all about rules, regulations, control, law, authority, the system, the man, whoever, however you want to define that. There may be more laws or restrictions coming due to the pandemic, more travel restrictions until certain areas that had not been as affected as others get their pandemic situation under control. Saturn wants to teach you patience, okay? So this can also be a time of delays, blockages, obstacles, or, even your boss just being on your back or things being particularly difficult and challenging at work. You can also encounter a lot of paperwork or bureaucracy that can slow down your efforts. And if you are involved in any kind of letting of a contract, say you're trying to buy a house, sell a house, whatever, buy a new car, finance it, make sure you cross your T's and you dot your I's, because this is the time where the snafu can come up and some little something is wrong in the paperwork, in the title search, or whatever that can delay like closings and, finally working out a contract, okay, or getting a delivery on a contract. Now, the themes of the Saturn-Uranus square are there for all of 2021, okay? That's the old versus the new, freedom versus control. Remember that Uranus is the planet of chaos to bring something new. Saturn is the planet of rules and regulations and the old ways, okay? As a magical practitioner, I have noticed from like the mid part of last year and really amping up at the beginning of this year that the old gods are making their presence known. And they are becoming more and more active, more and more vocal. There are deities coming to me and working with me that I have never worked with before in my magical practice. And particularly the Norse pantheon has been really active for me. And that is something completely new because usually I'm over in the Celtic pantheon doing my gig. But the Norse deities have really been ramping up this year for me personally. If you're a magical practitioner, you may have noticed that, deities have been presenting themselves to you more and more. They are really raising up right now. And that's that conflict, the old versus the new kind of thing, okay? The lunar eclipse itself occurs on May 26th at 4:13 a.m. Pacific Daylight Saving Time in the U.S., which would make it 7:13 a.m. Eastern in the U.S., which would then be 12:13 p.m. in the UK or 11:13 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time. So based on those time zones, you can figure out where it's going to occur for you. I'm going to say right now, I did not research when everything's going to be happening in the southern hemisphere, but you can do the maths based on those time zones if you're in the southern hemisphere. The lunar eclipse itself will occur at 5 degrees 25 minutes of Sagittarius, okay? The themes for Sagittarius, okay, are freedom, travel, truth, law, natural law, and belief systems. Full moon lunar eclipses are the perfect time to release things that no longer serve you, okay? Big things may begin to fall away. It's a total lunar eclipse. It is also a total lunar eclipse of a super moon. So that super moon and that additional pull on the Earth's tectonic plates, we can see an increase in seismic activity, volcanic activity, things of that nature. Eclipses are almost like a reboot, a hard reboot of your computer, okay? It's a reset. And they usually bring the energies of bringing some kind of culmination of something, okay? Something is going to come to an end. To find out where it's really going to affect you, this supermoon lunar eclipse, look at where 5 degrees of Sagittarius is in your birth chart. That is the house that can be particularly affected. This is when a total solar eclipse of the supermoon shines light into corners we've never seen before. So truths will come out. Legal cases may be settled and brought to fruition. Belief systems may be completely shattered. It's almost, for lack of a better term, like you may have an epiphany of some kind, okay? Also remember that Pluto is moving through Capricorn and will be moving through Capricorn through the end of 2023 and into the beginning of 2024. This is about deconstruction of the old order, okay? During the lunar eclipse, there will be 6 planets in mutable signs. And remember, mutable energy is unpredictable. It's up and down. It's the changing energy can vary wildly, okay? Mutable signs tend to be more adaptable and less fixed than the fixed signs of the zodiac, like me. I'm a Leo. I am so stuck in my Leo ways, you know, hey, I own it. So the planets that are in mutable signs is the moon will be in Sagittarius. Jupiter and Neptune will be in Pisces. The Sun, Venus, and Mercury will be in Gemini. Okay, this is going to affect how we perceive things and how we see our own reality and looking at our own belief systems. It's about having more power to manifest your future and what you see for your future by shedding what doesn't serve you and being shown the truth of what you may have held very dear to you that shows you, man, this isn't serving you anymore. And in fact, it's holding you back from finding something even better. It's time to do a vision for your reality and the reality for all humankind. And let me just say, to take it in out of the 3D and into 4D, okay, to have that, I'll call it metaphysical epiphany, to tap in and manifest those eclipse energies to bring about significant change, not just in your own life and self-improvement, but you can do things as a magical practitioner that could help heal the earth, help, you know, do something for the greater of humanity in general. So, you know, because I know that like my coven in the past has done, you know, rituals for healing the earth, okay, and things of that nature. You and your, if you're part of a coven, may get together and think about doing something like that rather than having, you know, a self or improvement kind of energy to a ritual. So that's just a thought. If you're a solitary practitioner, you can do the same to change your, you know, little environment in your own home kind of thing, okay? Mercury is going to be in Gemini, and it's going to be conjunct Venus in Gemini, and they are both square Neptune in Pisces. Try saying that 10 times real quick. So Mercury and Gemini are mind activated energies, because think, you know, Mercury is the communication, right? So your mind is going to want to be engaged at higher levels. Now, this can result in information overload. I call it analysis paralysis. You may not be able to turn off or tune out your thoughts, especially if you are an empath or you are a medium. You may not be able to flip that switch and tell spirit to go F off as easy as you normally would. You might have to work at it a little bit harder and be very cognizant of the fact that you stay grounded and centered during this critical period of time. Go outside, hug a tree, dig your fingers in the dirt, do a meditation, whatever it takes to keep you more grounded and centered. And that will help kind of you switch off all this mental machinations that will be going on because of Mercury and Gemini. Now, the square with Neptune tells you to come out of your mind and into something higher, okay? This is the time of mysticism and the occult. Neptune in Pisces is particularly good for things involving an altered state, like vision quests, astral traveling, shamanic work, things of that nature. Being connected to that universal source and that universal energy. It's also about unconditional love and feeling at one with the universe in general. Really tapping into that universal force energy. You may want to focus on mysticism and occult or shamanic work. Become more aware of your daydreams and your nightly dreams. Keep a dream journal during this period of time. Make an effort to meditate. Stay grounded and centered. Astral travel. Be sure to protect yourself appropriately if you have never astral traveled in your life. There is a whole thing about astral travel. I have a video on it. I will link it in the description box. I also have a meditation for it. Don't do the meditation without watching the video about astral travel and how to protect yourself while you're in the astral realm. It's also a great enhanced time for your magical workings. So this is a prime time, especially involving creative forms of magic, like art magic, word magic, sigil witchery, things of that nature. This is the time when that creative energy goes into it, especially, let's say, if you want to make potions or do some tinctures, anything like that, for healing, whatever purpose, it's going to be particularly potent for you to be able to do it in this time, because in general, mysticism and occult workings are more powerful with that eclipse and that supermoon energy being there together. It's also a really good time for divination, but like I said, do it right. Make sure you're grounded and centered. Make sure you have your protections up. Make sure you ground and center after to get rid of any residual energy. If you don't, you will burn your brain out. Just saying. Now, the position of Neptune in Pisces is going to be in play over the next couple of years. And it's been about 168 years since it's been there. So eclipse energy is very fast moving. Use your intention well. This is a time to really spend time on your spell work, your craft, your manifesting. The energies can feel really unstable because so many planets are in mutable signs. From this year and into next, there are more signs of moving toward a new Earth energy, okay? There is going to be an eclipse in Taurus in November, and then the North Node moves into Taurus in January 2022, where it will be for 18 months. Taurus is Earth energy itself. The next 2 to 3 months in general are going to be a period of very intense global change. And I'm going to say this, don't just hang on for the ride. This is a time for you to manifest the destiny and the higher self that you seek, okay? Be the master of it. This is a perfect time for you to really amp up your magical workings, okay? If you are an initiate and are not a full-fledged practitioner, this is a time where you can really learn a lot just by tapping into these energies and feeling the flow and doing simple things to help you master your craft. You know, read more books, do more research. Don't depend on me to tell you how to do everything. This is a time where you can, as a newer magical practitioner, can really test out your chops and find your flow and your energy with that universal force. It is a big time for magical practitioners. The last time when we had the full solar eclipse in the US a few years back, that eclipse ritual that I did was one of the most powerful rituals I had ever done, okay? I am planning big things for my supermoon lunar eclipse ritual. Be the master. Manifest your destiny and the higher self that you seek. With that, my friends, that's it for this video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. Consider becoming a member of the Cauldron Coven. And there's all kinds of links and stuff in the description box. You guys know the drill. And as I always say, merry we did meet, merry we will part until we merry meet again. Be well and walk in love and light, everybody. Bye.